G'day friends and fans, welcome to Dave Talk Stuff, your reliable source of social and political commentary from inside the manosphere. Today I'm going to look at testing. No, not your standardized test that you train for, set you up to fail you for life. No, the other tests that fail you for life. Women's tests. And oh boy, they are all designed to backfire, to fail, to end up with lonely, miserable women who wonder why they can't keep a man. Now, women always end up regret testing their man. These games backfire with such frequency and reliability. Now, rather than providing a man or a woman with a comprehensive education, we have women's magazines and dating gurus and other charlatans who all come up with these things known as the love test to test for signs of true love. Now, men do not immediately recognize mind games, but they do know something's up when she starts giving you the side eye. And she starts asking a lot of questions, particularly if she's leaning over and looking at a magazine that's open and she just flips it to some an article on periods or a bra ad. Don't know why women get obsessed with their bra ads. I guess that comfort is something they struggle to achieve. Why? Because they often wear out their cup holders. Now, they do. They're too frequently washed. They're not. The cotton is not high quality. They buy cheap. They buy for appearance rather than form and function. You know the drill. Nothing is ever good enough, and they buy the cheapest. So when it comes to dating, females are highly insecure. Now, they blame men, of course, but who raised them? Who created them? Men frequently have reason to pause and lose interest in a woman because she is not looking for, quote-unquote, a husband. She is looking for a punching bag, an ATM, a therapist, a sugar daddy, a big brother, or worse, a little brother, but anything other than a husband. They both adore and abhor sex simultaneously. This is the contradictions that people can hold two ideas at the same time. To have absolute desire for, say, a rock star or movie star from their teenage life, even if it's a woman, and pretty much burn out their emotions and their emotional and physical sexuality on a fictional person, often 3 fingers deep, and then turn to the hard toys in which man cannot compete. And eventually they cannot physically respond to, because they have trained themselves to physically respond to their own hand or to a toy. And that's usually about the time they turn to love testing, because they want to transform the relationship from a an emotional, sexual relationship to emotional only relationship. That's often the purpose of a love test. Do you love me? How much do you love me? Will you take care of me no matter what? That's the red flag right there. Before I continue, I'd like to remind the audience that this channel is sponsored by you, the viewing audience. You can support the channel by buying one of my adorable coffee cups, water bottles, travel mugs, latte cups from Empire Valves. That's one word, empirevalves.myshopify.com. Thank you. All right. Now, the motivations do stem from a complex place of insecurity. The society is fed a constant diet of bad news by nihilists. Dating tests, particularly 20 questions, are rarely healthy. They're not designed by experts. They're designed by people who put a big X on themselves and spurt garbage. But women are seeking to assess safety, test boundaries, and evaluate sincerity. That's usually 1, 2, 3 dates right there. The best relationship is the one you grew up with. You don't need the tests. You know who someone is. And most of the time, the girls we grew up with, you don't want anything to do with them because you saw them lining up around the corner of the toilet block or the sport, or to go into one of the sporting sheds, or you hear them all chuckling about the party they had, and only a handful of people were invited outside. So you got all the girls and a handful, two or three girls to one guy sort of parties. So yeah, women's test a man to gauge if he's an emotionally stable person by upsetting him, to see if he can remain grounded under pressure. The problem is the pressure test becomes a trigger, a hormonal trigger, and they become trapped in a cycle where they yell, they scream, they push, they get you to exhaust yourself. They tell you to wait for sex. Also, they can build up that psychosexual energy within themselves just so they can have a bigger orgasm. Or the friends say, if you make them wait, they're twice as they put in twice the effort. All the idiotic things women tell each other. Boundaries, you set boundaries, and they push back. You tell them to be home by 6, and they'll start getting later and later and later to see how you will respond, to see whether or not you'll take the lead. But increasingly, defiance is a drug. You see it with the rebel complex. So again, these end in broken relationships. Evaluating sincerity, flirting with others, basically. Usually in the early days, basically, they really make you wait, test your patience. It should be 5 minutes every day, and it becomes a bad habit for life, right? Particularly dating, right? Are you sincere? They'll wait to filter you out. That's why women keep you waiting. And it often comes back to emotional safety. See if you get upset. But sincerity, you want to lean in for a kiss, and they make you wait. Go for a grape, they make you wait, and it just keeps growing from there. Let's have dinner first. Let's do this. It becomes a reward, a psychosexual cycle of behavior, leads to sexual tension, leading to sex as a reward for playing her games each and every time. Doesn't matter how they really test you. tests fail because the longer you make a man wait, the less attractive she becomes. And as she gets older, the romantic interest dies anyway. The more, you mature, as your relationship matures, it becomes emotionally safety. She gets used to the boundaries set and will actually understand that boundaries create respect and do not send signals to every Tom, Dick, and Harry that your cooch is open for business. And as for sincerity, he stuck around. You didn't need to test if he was going to stick around. You get that sincerity over time. All these broken relationship tests do is create more broken relationships, and they keep selling them as, we could get you a stable relationship or a better relationship, improve your relationship. But instead, and immediately, you become less attractive because you're emotionally unstable. It erodes trust because you need to test him, so you do not trust him. Unwanted outcomes. You may ask a man, you may say, oh, if you love me, you'll tell me your darkest, deepest secrets. And you may find out that what those troubled pasts or mistakes made or traumatic experiences in his life, they rub off. You don't look at them the same anymore. He's not the ideal handsome man. He's particularly if they've been through war. Don't never ask a man his darkest secrets. You regret it. We've all done stupid things. Sometimes they're silly and doesn't really matter, but it doesn't matter, right? Cross the road, regretted, many times where you run across the road for a lark to watch cars swerve or something like that. Kids do the dumbest things because there's no boundaries. Their parents are told to unlimited potential, no boundaries. And it's created a generation that has neither respect and a unhealthy amount of joy from other people's misery. And they are miserable themselves. They can't trust their friends. So many young people today have shoplifted, push someone over thinking it's a lark and they've broken it, and that person's broken an arm or a leg. Sometimes they've bullied a sibling just for the jollies to prove how tough they are to themselves. And that sibling never talks to them again, just eventually shuts down and never talks to them again. Or when you get a big family and all the siblings pick on the oldest because, oh, he got everything, where's mine? Doesn't matter what it was, whatever regrets people carry. Most people are looking to start over when they get married, but women pick at scabs thinking they're going to heal it. Oh, satellite's the best heal. No. Men don't trauma share. And women shouldn't trauma share. And it creates unwanted outcomes in relationships where a man might simply just look at her and go, you did what? Because women have done some terrible things themselves, usually sexual escapades, like, oh, once I had 3 men. And it's like, ooh, what a skank. See, women somehow keep equating one man's actions as all men. So if there's a few men who tolerate getting into a pile or going to a brothel and sharing the same woman either at the same time or one after each other, they somehow think, haha, those sailors who lined up at my bed every night, that's all, they suddenly think that's all men. So they go out looking for dangerous degenerates and then try to turn him into a white knight to take care of her. And they test him to make sure that he's not going to leave. And if you're going to go for the dark secret route to evaluate sincerity, it's usually her dark secrets, and lots of them. Now, I don't want to get really dark, but women have done some really dark things. OnlyFans. Before the internet, there were porn tapes. Look at all these cope-and-seethe models who've done all the porn tapes. None of them have had stable relationships. They're all somehow rich and famous because the media focuses on them and portrays and young girls follow the fame. The media is a terrible place full of terrible people who don't care about humanity. They only care about their paycheck. And then they complain that capitalism has failed. No, you have failed. You talk about... It's amazing how many people today talk about immorality and then point at Republicans, point at Christians. And it's like, you're the ones with pride parades. You're the ones with abortions. You're the ones with unlimited divorce, unlimited abortions. You're the ones talking about bestiality and all the other, all the other alphabets, starting with I and P. You're the party of P. Diddy, man. Come on. You're the party of feminists. And you're talking about morality. No. There's healthier ways to build relationships. They take time. They take communications. And they take knowing yourself. But our education system has failed us. Women do not want to improve themselves. They want expensive things. As society becomes more secular, it's become more nihilistic and materialistic. Communism has pushed people to expect the transfer of wealth from the wealthy to them just for merely breathing. So, is it any wonder men are walking away? This ain't relationship advice. This is save your life advice. Do not get involved with women who test. Most people would say do not get involved with women at all. I am not going to make the lifestyle choice for you, but I'm just going to say men who frequently recognize mind games do better in life, because there's not just women who do it. Employers do it. See how much free time they can get at you. Wait for you to head to the door and say, wait a minute, Jones, it just don't take 5 minutes. Or the bean counting, they want guys who have to have that punch card clock. Or, you got to be here 15 minutes before the bell to line up. And this is discipline. No, 5 minutes before the bell in a line is discipline. And by grade 1, 2, and 3, you notice the decline very quickly in standards of morality. Because the parents come going, and again, it's the 1960s mentality. It's so many of us scream, okay, boomer, but how many of you behave like one? Particularly millennials. That's where the love test comes from. Cosmo, Cleo, they all did it. And who created them? Academia. I swear, man, colleges could burn down tomorrow and society will go up 5 IQ points. But no one wants hard work, and relationships are a chore. That's why so many men are walking away, because women are a chore. But increasingly, women are complaining, oh, men are a chore. I have to take care of him. So, a story for another day. But remember, folks, if you're contemplating a relationship, it is hard work. And increasingly, even though we are the much sought after commodity, we are the engines of civilization, we are treated like garbage by fellow man and women in general. And telling you the cure ain't going to bring about the cure, because there's just simply not enough men yet who've walked away. But the cure is to let it rot. Let all these boomers go to their graves with nothing. Bring down the Bracklocks and all these other pathetic. Deprive them, starve them, break them up, bring them down, hold them to account for their criminalities. So they didn't get there. They got there through corruption, bribing politicians. Heck, the politicians are flaunting their wealth in your face. I'm not talking about Donald Trump here. I'm talking about, talking Barack Obama going from -1 million after 16 years in government to having 3 multi-million-dollar mansions. There's no thinking in this world, critical thinking. I don't care who you are. Red pill is about the truth, not politics. That's why mgtow is strong, because it doesn't have a doctrine of, well, the economic theory of capitalism is all fundamentally flawed and we must destroy it. No, that's the idiot. See, this is the thing about the left that most people don't understand. It only exists to destroy. It's got nothing to create. It's only promises. But once it gets, it's like a dog that chases a car. Doesn't know what to do with it when it catches it, Just a dog sit there with its clop down on a on a bumper bar, thinking, now what? That's empirevalves.myshopify.com. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. Please support the channel. Links in the description below, in my profile, or scan the QR code on the screen. Appreciate each and every one of you. See you in the next video, and bye for now.